Many communities are experiencing high occurrences of cultism activities, insecurities, sexual and gender-based violence, theft, vandalism, substance abuse, addiction, street fights, electoral violence, cyber crimes, ritual killing, and many other vices perpetrated by boys. It doesn't help that in most families, parents and guardians are strict in raising the girl child compared to the boy child. For a while now, most NGOs, civil society organizations, foreign and local donor agencies, trainings, capacity building, sensitization sessions on sexual and gender-based violence prevention, human rights, economic skill acquisition, mentorship, scholarships, health-related community interventions are focused on the girl child because they are considered more vulnerable, which is true. But the implication is that the boy child is totally left behind, uninformed and in danger to himself. To these same girls and the society at large, currently there are thousands of adolescents and teenage boys in postal institutions and remand homes in Nigeria. It's gotten to the point where community stakeholders are appealing to NGOs to intervene in issues concerning the boy child. The Rule of Law Development Foundation is changing this narrative and designed a boy-child focus project that catches them young and build boys' agency to make better decisions and ultimately prepare boys to become responsible young men and future fathers and leaders.
And that's how Project Hope for the Boy Child was born.
So indeed, we find that there is a lot of effort to protect them, especially the young child, the young girl child. And a lot of things happen to them that does not happen to men at puberty and growing up. They see their menstrual cycle, they are susceptible to early pregnancies, they can drop out of school because of the effect of unwanted pregnancies, and they can also be married off when you do not want them to. So indeed, clearly, we now looked at what could be the cause of their problems. It's to a large degree men.
This project targets boys from the age of 10 to 16 years. So it's a direct response to the ills in the society perpetrated by boys. A lot of times focus is put in raising girls because no parents want their daughter to get pregnant. But for the boys, it feels like, oh, they will be fine. But it's not always so. So boys are left to their vices. They have no idea of decision making and consequences. They have no idea of the right things, so to say.
Start by re-educating the boy child. Start by ensuring that he places a different value or a higher value or premium on the girl child. It will get to a point where if you saturate the system properly, you will find that the boy child is no longer a danger to the girl child and is no longer a danger to himself.
We started with 5 communities. Waru community, this is Waru right now. There is a Kabusa community, there is Karumajigi community, there's Kuchingoro community, and finally there is Kurudu community. And we have 20 boys in each of these communities. So we started, of course, by visiting the community leaders, and we brought a letter introducing the project and what we wanted to do. And during the advocacy, I remember meeting a father at Kachingoro community who told me, he said, I am excited about this project personally because it affects me. I lost my son, my very first son in 2018 to violence. Another boy stabbed him over a little argument. And the boy ran away, stabbed him in the presence of his mother, stabbed him to death. And he ran away, went to Kano, killed another person in Kano, came back to Zuba, killed another person in Zuba. That's 3 deaths in less than 2 years. At the end, he was caught and he was sentenced to death. There I was thinking, if this young man had access to mentorship, to understand decision making and consequences, would he have taken that step? 2 boys would have been alive today. So he said, for me, I want my remaining surviving son to be part of this project so he can know how to understand human rights, how to even avoid arguments before it escalates, and how to be a better citizen. So they were happy, very, very excited to welcome us, and a lot of them were still sure that by the time we are coming for our main advocacy, we are going to change it to the girls. But eventually, we went and we were received. The project team was received, the chief, they had guests, we had parents of the boys and the guardians, we had the 20 boys who had been selected, and we had elders, community leaders, we had women groups.
Standing before you and listening to you, it's a clear evidence that you know exactly what you're doing, and this organization also know the trouble that is befalling us in this country.
In the society, many offenses are committed by boys, but they deem it fit to come and make sure they pick some boys to train them so that the society at large will be good.
They donated their palace for us for use for the mentorship sessions. For Waru community here, where the palace was a bit small, they quickly reached out to the community primary health care center and got the space for us, which is where we're having this session now. And we always met here, and we had a meeting with the boys. And we had the support of the community. It's a project that, for them, it's the first of its kind. The boy child is important, and we really hope to scale up. And they even became more excited when they found out that we're not just bringing a 6-month mentorship project to them, where we'll be talking to boys about sexual and gender-based violence, comprehensive sexuality education, which covers self-care, it covers HIV, AIDS prevention and other STIs, which covers issues like self-esteem, confidence-building habits, and assertive skills for boys. It was more. We had financial literacy. Why? Because we feel boys need to understand a lot about money, because society is selling them a lot of different things now. On social media, we see the fast life. So many temptations. Boys are going into ritual making because they think that's how to get money and buy the latest car. And they don't mind killing a girl to get what they want. They need to be taught differently about how to make money, the value of hard work, and how to actually exchange value to get money. We also talked about gender and toxic masculinity, gender stereotypes, how to be better brothers, how to be better friends in the community, and how to treat girls with more respect than they currently do, and the need why they should actually do that. We also talked about cultism and substance abuse. Then we dealt on decision making and consequences to help the boys understand that there is always a consequence for every decision they take. Then we talked about peace and nation building. This was a wide topic, of course, when talking to the parents, because we felt like young people needed to understand the concept of peace and nation building, how their actions can actually affect society. For example, we have issues of religious intolerance, cultural intolerance. These are reasons why communities have gone to war before. Then we also have, of course, election malpractices and using young people as thugs to cause confusion and steal ballots. So they had to understand. We talked about open defecation and the role they play as young boys in promoting peace in the community.
Don't give and don't take bribe.
Don't give and don't take bribe.
Don't give and don't take bribe.
Don't give and don't.
Now personalize it. I will not give and I will not take bribe.
I will not give and I will not take bribe.
I will not give and I will not take bribe.
I will not give and I will not take bribe.
And most importantly, we talked about human rights. And of course, human rights, for them to understand human rights, what it means, and knowing the types of human rights available for them.
See everyone as humans and treat them as such, irrespective of their gender or how society defines them. The only difference between a man and a woman is biological. I said it before.
With the hope that when they understand human rights, they can respect their own human rights and the rights of other people around them, so they don't overstep.
This is one particular project that actually captured my attention, because it focused solely on the poor child. So during this project, we have actually observed a lot of loopholes. We actually realized that we have been causing a lot of imbalance in the society. Imbalance, I mean that focusing on the girl child, we realized that on the other hand, we are leaving the boys to go astray.
Young boys can be idle, and when they get idle, they get very restless and going around, because in the response to us, the community members were complaining about gallivanting and smoking and other odd habits around the community. And we're like, okay, we are also bringing a 6-month skill acquisition for them, and that totally blew their mind.
It is said that the idle mind is the devil's workshop. Now, if the idle mind is the devil's workshop, then there is a need to keep them busy and occupied. Busy and occupied, so we said, look, why don't we think of looking at the deepest rural areas and then find vocations for them so that they can learn professions.
Any skill the boys wanted, so far it's resident in the community, because we wanted skilled artisans who are resident in the communities to be the one to teach the boys in the 6 months after school hours daily. And of course, during holidays, they have a longer time to spend in the community.
My name is Thomas.
Good. How old are you?
I'm 13 years old.
Okay. So, what are you doing here?
I'm learning welding.
You're learning welding?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Augustine Robo. I am 15 years old. I'm learning shoemaking.
My name is Chinoba Jerry. I'm working under the Project Hope for the Boy Child, learning pastry skills.
Pastry skills?
Pastry skills, thank you.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 14 years old.
14 years old.
My name is Ola Daniel.
How old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
Okay.
And I'm working under the Project Hope phone repair.
My name is Chinedu Eze. I'm learning spraying painter.
My name is Abel Agbe. I am 13 years old and I'm learning mechanic now.
My name is Emeka Okuchukwu. I am 13 years old and I am learning computer under Project Hope for the Boys Child by Rule of Law Development Foundation.
My name is Emmanuel Ogo Chisamipere. I am 14 years old. I am learning computer by Project Hope for Boys Child.
My name is Bala Thank God. I'm 12 years old. I'm learning aluminium work under Project Hope for the Boy Child.
We ended up having skills on tailoring. We had cobbling, that's shoemaking. We had computer skill, that's computer literacy. We had glass work. We had barbing. We had hairdressing. We also had pastry making for boys. And it's been a lot. So far, then we have mechanics, of course, in the community. Then we had phone repair technicians. We also had panel beating. And at the advocacy visit, we also explained to them that before we introduce the artisans that we were going to select for the project to teach the boys, we're going to make sure that we have a sensitization visit with the meeting, of course, with the artisans, where we'll tell them about child protection policy.
We want the boys to be safe in their care. We don't believe in corporal punishment. We don't believe, oh, go and kneel down there and raise stone. We are not raising criminals, we are raising young men.
They might have learned the hard way, where you make a child, while they are learning, go through manual labor, make them kneel under the sun and other extreme kind of discipline. But for us, because we are conscious about human rights, and we're not raising hardened criminals, we just want them to learn a skill and want to respect their dignity while they are learning. So they can also, when it's their time, teach other people in that manner. And it made the parents really happy that we're putting that into consideration. And we started.
The project Hope for the Boys Child have taught me about human rights, have taught me about substance and drug abuse, that taking drug is not good, that abusing drug is not good. It taught me how to set goals for myself, and that I have the right to live, freedom of speech, to express myself the way I want.
I've learned a lot, like the gender-based violence, which inspired me a lot. It taught me a lot about keeping the boundaries, making sure that everyone in your environment is safe. Even when you see this act, you have to report it to the police and maybe the chief in your environment.
Has also be taught of goal setting. Now, I set a goal last week to change IC, but now I can change it very well.
And we talked about self-esteem. We have two different types of self-esteem. We have low self-esteem and high self-esteem. High self-esteem is when you are proud of yourself, but low self-esteem is when you hate yourself. You don't like the way you look or the way you act. And you should not let people to get to you.
In the tutoring, they taught me about decision making and its consequences. They taught me human rights and how to respect people. They taught me the kind of friends to make, and since then I have separated my good friends from the bad.
I have learned the consequences of using hard drugs and mingling with bad friends.
After school, this is where I come. So when I come, I learn how to barb. Now I'm perfect. So I can even barb anybody, and I'm perfect now. So the money I used to have, I used to save it, and I used to set goals, and after setting, and I achieve them.
Talking about the success of the project, it's an amazing 6 months where the boys came in hungry to actually really learn, and we have this to show now. For example, one of the boys in Kabusa community, his name is Yeyedulo, made this shoe for me to say thank you, and I made sure I paid him because I wanted him to understand that it's not something you've learned and you just be playing with. You can make a living from this. You don't have to depend on your parents to go to school. They can't further your education. From this, you can send yourself to school. And they got to understand that. Another boy from Kabusa community, Kurudu community, his name is Dimas, made this wig for me. This is 6 months of learning, and he came up with this, and I made sure I paid him also, because I want him to understand that you have a skill, something of value that people will part with their money to pay for.
Even this my shoe that I'm wearing is one of the children that provided it for me, which is, we are very happy because some parents, they cannot be able to provide or to send their child to learn or one or two things to the other. But through you people, now their father, they are proud of them, or mother, they are proud of them. Some they are widow, some they are orphan, and which is, yet for that aspect, we are very happy for that kid that you people bring in the community.
Then one of the chiefs in our communities, of course, was talking about how young boys are coming up to him now and say, we want to make you a shoe, we want to make you an outfit, the tailors. And the boys are so excited. So yes, this is a successful project because now the boys have been impacted with economic skill that will actually improve the economic life of 100 boys in 5 communities in Abuja. When the project started, for example, we had the mentorship session we had a pre-test for them where we asked them questions to gauge their knowledge on what they knew and what they didn't know, so that at the end we can actually measure impact. And we had questions like, is it an offensive thing to ask a boy to cook? And almost all of them said yes. I mean, they have brothers, sisters and mothers at home. For them, why should they learn to cook? So through our facilitated conversations during our sessions, they got to understand that cooking, for example, is a life skill. When you go to the university, your mother will not be there, your sister will not be there. You can't always afford to buy food on a daily basis for breakfast, lunch and dinner. But when you cook once in a day, you are fine. And at the end, they're like, that's true. So we brought them together to actually change the mindset. We also had a question where we asked them that if a girl is wearing a spaghetti top, for example, does she deserve to be raped? And they all said yes. And we also ask them if a boy is wearing a boxer, that's when they post. Then they got to understand power play, that a lot of things that they do because they feel they are stronger and because they can get away with it. Not necessarily because the person is dressed a certain way. And it's been a change of mindset for them, because at the end of our 6 months mentorship sessions, we ask them these same questions and there's a total change. The same boys that said yes, if a girl is wearing a cloth that reveals her body, she deserves to be raped, now says no, she doesn't, because she's a human being, she has her right. So that means the boys now understand what human rights means. They also understand decision making and consequences. They know that they are to do better. In the interview session, some of them were saying, I respect my sister better, because now they understand. So many times we expect boys to just know, but you can't just know except you actually take your time to provide mentorship for the boys. Then we had a situation in certain communities among the 5, where especially Kabusa community and Kuchingoro community, where some boys who heard what others are learning started attending our mentorship sessions so that they can be part of the session. And we let them come in and sit down and partake of the conversation and the learning.
From the onset, the aim was to train these young boys who were at least from the age of 11 to 16. And I, that am above 16 years, I have dipped from the benefit that this boy got from this foundation. I could remember in the sensitization classes we do have with them, I see where the facilitators teaches these young ones on how to set their own goals. At the same time, to have value for gender base. I see where they teach them on how to keep good friendship, on how to have a target, on how to avoid things that will not bring that will bring chaos in the community. And I really learn a lot.
And we watch them grow. The boys are better for it. I am absolutely certain that for these 100 boys, if one of them meets 50 girls in the next 1 year, the 50 girls will be safe around them, because now they understand decision making and consequences. They understand the effects of sexual and gender-based violence. They understand mental health. They understand how it can destroy a girl's life. They also understand now that even a boy can also be a victim or a survivor, as the case of sexual and gender-based violence, and how to prevent it. They understand how to report it when it happens. They also have a huge knowledge of HIV and AIDS and other STI affecting a huge number of boys in the society, and how to prevent it. So this project has been a huge success.
I'm very, very appreciative, because the change of children, characters, is total change. He reduced some crimes. He reduced some load on my head, because all this money that the people I give to them every month, every weeks, and we have been taking care of them for their learn handwork, I'm appreciated. And I don't have anything to give to you people. It's only God that can bless each of you people.
I'm saying thanks to you, project manager in this organization. I'm so happy that you people have sit and looked at you may come this community and take some of my children to teach them how to good in future. I'm saying thanks to you. I'm the most happiest person this morning because of what the rule of law has brought to my community.
It's a good project that will boost the children, their career, that at least they would meet up with the target of their living life. And for that, I pray for this the organization, the rule of law for development, for the success, for their good living.
This is my first time of hearing of boys' child and empowerment. We always do all on girls. So today is my first time and I appreciate. God will help you people.
Rule of law development was in this pilot project able to reach 100 boys. But for the next phase of the project, we are looking at reaching over 500 boys if possible, and we are open. Rule of Law Development Foundation is open to funding and partnership, especially in the area of financial and technical support, so that we can reach more boys and so that the society can be safe for everyone. Because at the end, when boys know better and when boys are interested in safety of girls, then trying to prevent sexual and gender-based violence become really a possible dream. No longer a dream, something that is actually happening, because now we have 100 boys in the community who are currently ambassadors for the prevention of sexual and gender-based violence. I look forward to having 500 more, 1,000 more, and a project that can spread to the entire country. Because a lot of time, focus is always on the girl child, teaching her how to prevent sexual and gender-based violence. But when you involve the boys now, then the work becomes easier. There is a balance. There is a balance, because it doesn't become counterproductive where you are only focusing on the girls, but now you are also focusing on the boys and providing them mentorship. So as the girl child is getting educated, the boy child is also getting educated, and they meet at a point and everybody respects each other and there is a respect for human rights.
Finally, I want to thank the Rule of Law Development Foundation for teaching me all these things, and now I can be a better person in life. Now I can be able to teach some other people in Waru, in this community.
Thank you, Rule of Law Development Foundation, for empowering me.